This episode of the Inside Running Podcast is brought to you by Pillar Performance, Australia's leading sports micronutrition brand, providing high-strength formulations to support recovery, elevate energy, and relieve joint inflammation for endurance athletes.
Being a skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place? Under the cover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking.
Welcome to episode number 236 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you. Got our weekly recaps, got some running news, mostly out of the US, the old Sound Running track meet with some Australians in action there, which we'll get to shortly. Jells Relays, listen to question, training talk, and Moose on the loose, purchase of the week, rules of Strava. Not sure what's coming in that segment a bit later on. Welcome to my co-host up in Canberra. Has been away all weekend, but now back in Canberra. Bradley Croker, the fastest 40-year-old in Australia. Welcome.
Well, I don't know about that.
I reckon you are.
Benny's saying it's faster than I am.
Yeah, was he been injured though? I don't reckon he's in 30-26 shape, is he, for 10K?
Benny could beat me on one leg.
True, he probably could. How you going, Bradley, up there?
Yeah, good. Had a nice weekend in Wagga Wagga. Got back yesterday afternoon, so yeah, it was good.
My other co-host down in Anglesea, the shoe slinger from the running company Geelong, Julian Spence, welcome to you.
Thanks, mate. I'm just trying to think of any other 40-year-olds off the top of my head that would be running faster than that. Surely there's a few.
No, there wouldn't.
Westcott's up there. Westcott's still going well.
He'd be, how old is he though? He'd be over 45, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think he's like 45.
I should have said 40 to 44-year-olds. That would have been better.
Because I think he turned 40. He turned 40 just before he did Berlin to qualify for the Olympics. So he would have done that, 2015. So he would have turned 40 in 2015, yeah.
Yeah, but how about this statement, though? Like, fastest 40-year-old who wasn't an Olympian or world-class runner beforehand. Like, Benny Saint, Scotty Westcott. Like, those guys are freaks. Like, they're going to be good, doesn't matter.
That's
now we're starting to get categories with red hair.
Yeah, that's age group triathlon stuff, that is.
Yeah.
Fastest guy is not that good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. You understand what I'm saying here. Not just an amazing athlete who's got older, like just an athlete who's still going all right as he's aged.
Thanks, Brady.
That's what I'm saying. Mate, come on, Moose. Give him some credit early in the show. Get him up and about. He won the Fashions on the Field, Moose. Did you see this on social media over the weekend?
You know what? I used to love burgundy until I saw that picture.
Now, you didn't like it?
No, I like burgundy, and I liked it, but now I just don't want to wear it again. Something about that. There's like too much burgundy on Brad Croker, and all of a sudden I'm like, gee, I'm going to have to change up my cycling outfit now because I was a big burgundy man.
Well, you're better in the fashion stakes than I am, Moose, because I called it purple when I put it on Friday.
Do you just get given the kit and just shut up, just wear this, Brad, look good, but just don't say anything? Is that what happens?
Pretty much, but the problem is they, up on stage, somebody comes around with a mic and they're like, oh, tell us about your outfit. And so you had to come up with some sort of bullshit about it, but I don't know much at all. They're like,
where'd you get it?
Where did this outfit start for you? I'm like, well, it started with the shirt, which is like a plain white shirt. I'm like, wore this at my wedding. But so we won the couples competition. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to enter. So they had the couples first and then they went straight into the men's, but I wasn't able to enter the men's because we were being interviewed straight after, and we're still being interviewed while the men's comp was going. And I also think that they if you've won a prize already, I don't think they like you getting up for another crack. So I'm not sure how I would have went in the open men, but I didn't get to compete.
What was the prize for the couples?
So it was like $3,000 worth.
$3,000.
Yeah, not cash, but
this is better than winning at Storm Moose.
So we got a $500 like sunglass, like those, was it Specsavers? So we'll just go in and buy like sunglasses, $400 jewelry voucher, $500 at a couple of different pubs, which we could use for either accommodation or drinks. What else? A couple of bottles of champagne.
Jeez, that's good.
Yeah, different vouchers to use around town.
And you get the kit made specially for you, don't you? Like Viv's mum or Viv like makes a suit and stuff.
Viv's mum
custom fit.
Viv's mum makes like the dresses and the headpieces for the women, but like my stuff's just, I don't know, Viv just gets my stuff from wherever. I don't know, she buys it, or I don't know. I don't know. I just basically put it on.
It looks all right. Sonny's hat, I liked it. Tell us about your running. So you come off the race, bit of a few days easy, and then into workouts.
Yeah. So I was a little bit sore actually on the Monday, like DOMS, which, like I don't know. I think maybe because I haven't raced for a while, but I also haven't done a lot of hard, intense sessions. I pulled up like reasonably sore from it, just in terms of like, you know, my glutes were like DOMS in my glutes, bit of DOMS in my quads. Whereas like when I did a 5K on the track last March, like I didn't have any of that the next day, but I had been doing a few more intense sessions in the lead up to that 5K. Whereas for this, I hadn't really done anything too hard. So yeah, a bit of DOMS. So I just jogged like pretty much an hour a day, Monday, Tuesday, both at like 4:13s. Felt pretty good by Wednesday, but I knew I wasn't going to do a session until late in the week. And at one point I thought maybe I won't even do a session. But I did 90 minutes then on the Wednesday, 4:07s. Then Thursday morning before we headed to Wagga, 45 minutes, 4:10s, and then decided to go for a run when we got to Wagga that afternoon. So I went down to Lake Albert. It's about 5.5k lap. So I did that plus a little bit more, 4:05s. And then originally I was going to do a session on the Friday, but I was just like, I might just, because we're going to go to the races that Friday afternoon. I'm like, stuff it. I'll just jog. But so I went and drove to was it Lake Albert again, but ran from there into Wagga and then along the river. And like Wagga Wagga has a really, really good bike path sort of, what's the word?
Bike path. That's what it is.
Yeah, but like it sort of links up like the whole sort of town, and you don't really have to stop at any major roads. So and it's dead. It's like Wagga is just dead flat, like at the sort of main area. So I ran from there out sort of half an hour, back half an hour. Put the On Cloud Monsters on, so that was my first run in those, and like I really enjoyed them. Combination of like a good rocker, good cushion, and feel like, I don't know, like a fair bit of pop to them. So I averaged 4:02s for an hour. Admittedly, it's like, I'll bring it up, like the elevation for that whole run was like 50 meters elevation in 15k. So it's like dead flat, quite easy to get rolling. Felt good. That was it for the day because we went to the races that afternoon. Then Saturday morning I woke up and I was umming and ahhing whether I'd do a session, and I thought, stuff it, I'll go and do one, because on that run on the Friday I'd found a really nice wide bike path. So the bike path around Lake Albert was like pretty narrow, whereas the one that runs along the river is like super wide. So I thought, that'd be a perfect place to do a session, and I was able to find almost a 2k like straight. There's only one section where you had to sort of dip underneath a rail line, and it was a little bit twisty turny for about 100 meters, but outside of that it was perfect. So did 5 by 6 minutes, which this is the first time I've done the 5 by 6 minute session outside. Like up until now I've always been doing it on the treadmill, so I didn't really know what to expect pace wise, but I was really happy with how it felt. Like averaged about 3:10s for all the reps off a minute recovery. Slowest was 3:13. Last one was 3:06. Perfect conditions, like no wind, about 7-8 degrees. Felt really, really strong on that session, so that was pleasing. Considering the sessions I've been doing on the treadmill have probably been closer to sort of 320s, and perceived effort probably felt similar. Plus, I think having a race under my belt has just brought everything up a little bit, just made everything feel a little bit easier. That afternoon, got out for another sort of 35 minutes or so on one of the trails. Actually, when was it? 2014, I ran the Wagga Wagga Trail Half Marathon. So I was able to find some of the course that I ran on there, which was just a bit of dirt as opposed to the bike path.
Right, just on the 6 minute reps, do you think the being outside, not on the treadmill is like a 50% difference, and then because the race has brought you up, so 50% difference, or like you think one's more important than the other, like more influence?
I think for me, perceived effort always feels really high on the treadmill, and I'm not sure if it's because I always feel like I'm sprinting, like for the pace. Like for example, if the treadmill says 18k an hour, that's 320s, and so if I'm outside and I go out at running 320s, like that doesn't feel like I'm running that quick. Whereas when I'm on the treadmill, I feel like, I don't know, my legs almost, for the first rep anyway, I feel like I can't keep up with the treadmill, even though it's supposedly only 320s. But also, I think your warm-up's a bit different when I do the treadmill. Like, I don't probably do quite as many strides beforehand. But I think the race definitely has helped things a little bit.
Because isn't it for most people, because I don't do anything on the treadmill, but don't people run faster on the treadmill than they actually would outside?
Some do, but I'm sort of happy I'm happy now that I think that the treadmill is reasonably accurate. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see. I'll probably do this session again on the treadmill in a week or two, and I'll see how the pace compares for the same sort of effort.
So will you just look at heart rate, or will you say, okay, let's go for 310 to compare it to the outside one?
I probably do heart rate on the treadmill, but I didn't have my heart rate strapped for this session. This was just wrist heart rate.
What heart rate will you aim at?
So well, up until before Sydney 10, I was basically sitting low to mid 160s.
It looks pretty accurate on this croak, so I actually thought you had your heart rate monitor on.
Yeah, but it doesn't really dip in the recoveries.
Doesn't it? Okay.
But we will chat a bit more about 6 minute session during training talk this week. So then that afternoon got out for like 35 minutes, and then on Sunday I did basically the same run that I did on Friday, except I went out further. Went out 15k, back 15k, average like pretty much 4 minute Ks for 2 hours. Once again, like 80 meters of elevation in 30k. Wore the cloud monsters again, and felt pretty good doing that. 10 degrees, no wind for a week of 143k with one session, one midweek long run and a long run. So
Brady
is a fan of the cloud monsters, Moose.
I'm just going through his week. These are the average paces: 4:13, 4:13, 4:7, 4:10, 4:5, 4:2, 4:8, 3:24, 4:1, 4:06, 3:59. That is a lot of.
Yeah, but no workout though.
No, I know, but
I know what you mean.
I can't get out without jogging one day. I need to that's just.
But look at my run since Thursday. Like running, so if I'm on the Gold Coast and I'm going out for a run, like running 4 minute Ks when it's dead flat and you're on the road is not actually that difficult. Like, anyway,
what you've done in Wagga is easier.
New town, always go quicker in a new town.
But Moosey runs that pace when he's at home in the bush over hills, so this is probably easier than what he's been running.
I know.
Yeah. Like I felt good on, like I certainly wasn't, Sunday wasn't pushing the pace at all. And like you've run in those shoes, like those shoes are bloody good. Like I do rate them. I feel very poppy when I run in those things.
Yeah, I've only worn them for my second runs. I've been using them for like that, high stack cushion 35 minute. I haven't worn them for longer than 35 minutes, but hearing good things. Obviously, if you've chucking them on straight for a 2-hour run, that's you're having fun.
Boys, if you like the feel of that, you should get in a proper good shoe. New Balance Super Comp Trainer. Now, honestly, I'm not fucking with you. It's a shoe that's got similar concept to what you're talking about, but about 50 times better.
The one good thing I found, so my one criticism of On shoes in the past has been, especially if I'm running out at Mulligan's, they just fill up with stones in the middle of them. But luckily pretty much all the running that I was doing in them so far has been on bike path, or if it was a gravel path, there weren't big rocks, so nothing's really got stuck in them yet. But if I was to run out at Mulligan's, I'm pretty sure I'd end up with a few rocks stuck in the middle.
So for your 143k week, you average 4:03k pace in our Strava group. I'm looking at now. If I change this to average pace, I'll see how.
Oh yeah, he's winning for sure.
Yeah. No,
But then,
was.
But then when Moose is talking about his weekly like elevation gain, I had 700 meters of elevation over 143k week, which is not a lot.
I told you don't have to worry about that, Croaks. Remember, fitness overrates that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's very easy to get rolling when you're not running over hills. And every time I go to places like this, it actually makes me realise like the benefit of running over hills regularly. Like I mentioned a few weeks ago when I did a long run around Lake Burley Griffin, and Lake Burley Griffin is flat compared to Mulligan's, but it's not as flat as what I was running in Wagga Wagga. And even running around Lake Burley after doing stuff at Mulligan's, it just makes you feel like more efficient. So there's definitely some value in finding hills.
Good week. You booked those flights to Launceston?
No, I haven't booked any flights.
They're trying to get you there.
We'll see.
They're asking for elite athletes at the moment. Get your name in the hat. Get looked after. Moose, what have you been doing? Couple of run walks I saw.
I did run this week. Yeah, I had some runs. So I ran, went to the gym, cycled, but no paddling this week, which is unfortunate. I know everyone likes to hear about my paddles. No, I did. Monday was my first day. I did. Well, what did I do? I think I did minute. Oh, let me pull it up. I haven't been on Strava. Like, I don't really look at it. 10 by minute jog, minute walk. So that was on the treadie. And then the next day, this was also on the treadie. I haven't written it there. There was 2 days later. It was 10 by 90 seconds on 30-second walk. So still 20 minutes pretty much worth of effort. And then on the 2 days, I'm running every second day. So every other day I run 7 by 3 minutes, first run outside with the with an ultra Mont Blanc, which is like their lightweight kind of trail shoe. It's pretty fun, light sort of grippy shoe, and we had some rain, so it was perfect. Just stayed flat, stayed pretty cruisy, just focusing on form and I mean, I don't have a real focus point when I'm doing these jogs. I'm kind of thinking about maybe a higher cadence, slightly, or like landing more under my center of gravity. Like it helps to unload the knee a little bit more. I think as I get going a bit further into this build, I won't worry about that as much. But for now, like it's such short runs. I got to think about something. On Sunday morning, 4 by 5 minutes with a minute jog, and again, felt fine, no pain, getting some good rides in too, helping with my initial sort of heart rate reads on the jogs. Normally I'm higher than this, but I'm feeling fine, like fitness wise. I think the cycling's been helping. So yeah, like 12k or something, maybe 10, 15, but feel good. Go out tomorrow, 3 by 7 minutes. And by the end of next week, hopefully I'm up to maybe a steady 20 minutes or so.
And then how many weeks, or is it just see how you go, is the process of like the walk, jog, break it up? Like,
I think it'll be another week.
Is it, yeah, and then it's just kind of like continuous, 20 and 30 minutes most days, every second day?
Yeah, so you'll increase like the distance, the duration of the run to a point, probably without increasing the frequency that much. Then you might increase the frequency, and then you might increase like that. Well, that will naturally increase the volume. But yeah, there's no rush on this one. Like this is like this particular build in my mind is showing me whether I can run again or not. Just because the injury that I've got is structural damage there. It's not something you can fix, and it's not something that like you can do any sort of I get physio on to a degree. Like we're doing everything we can from the physio perspective and from the the rebuild perspective, making it as safe as possible, giving ourselves every chance. But like structurally, I have no cartilage in a certain area of my knee, and that will always create problems no matter what we do, unless the science comes out with something, which they probably will, like in 10 years when it's too late. So this build coming back, I'm going as slow as I can to give myself every chance to rebuild to a point where I can at least do some cross country stuff and get to a point where I can maybe run with like aspirations of times again. But every run at the moment is a bonus for me. That's how I'm looking at it, and it feels good too. I don't feel like rushing it whatsoever.
Has Ellie or like other specialists like said that with what you've got, like there's a chance that you like won't be able to get back to running like 140k a week? Like,
yeah, definitely. Like, and they don't say it, but I know it, and I say it, and they're like, they look at me and they go, yeah. So I'm well aware of this, like the outcomes for this type of injury or damage is not great.
Because it almost sounds like, those footy players that are sort of constantly battling with like knee problems, and they just at some point they just go like, I can't keep doing this anymore. Like it's just, I can't get the quality of training that I need to do.
Pretty much exactly that. Like I might be able to come back a few times, but I need to know where the limit is, and I don't know that yet. I've rebuilt once, and I know where the absolute over the edge is. This time round is going to be slower, and we're going to sort of tiptoe our way to the edge a lot more slowly. And any type of warning sign we pull back on, there is still some examples of people that have been able to get through this and still have a few good years left. But I'm going to do it using cycling as a backup, a lot of gym work, and lower mileage. I'm going to probably do higher quality stuff. So once I'm like maybe a couple of months in, so I won't be busting the big volume stuff out. I'll be doing some higher quality stuff. And I just want to get back I want to race more. Like, given that I'm not going to be competitive for much longer, I want to maximize the amount of races that I can do and have fun with it.
Yeah, racing's fun. You mentioned cross country there, and I know you're competitive and you'll be wanting to smash as many people as possible, but given the knee situation, is it safer to stay on the roads than like in spikes on cross country terrain?
Possibly. The knee gets loaded more downhill. That's for sure. But once you get to a point, once I get to a point, hopefully, where I have enough strength in my legs, and we're getting a better sort of, I guess, like muscle. The way that I'm looking at it is, if I can get a better firing pattern between my glutes, hamstring, calves with less quad involvement, that's the goal, to unload the knee a little bit more. And that will come through like strength work and patterning, which I'm going to work on with this exercise Fears. I see him in a couple of weeks. So 1 week maybe now. And then hopefully I can get back to a point where I can throw a cross country race in, and then maybe I stay flat for 5 or 6 days after that. So just use it in small doses rather than go out run hilly every day like I was.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck. I don't know if I realised it was as serious as that. Did you, Crocs? I knew you were in trouble, but I didn't know this was like you'll never ever get back to it potential.
Well, I knew that he'd mentioned that he didn't have really much cartilage, and that was the whole reason he had the bone bruising. It's because it was, I guess, banging on each other, and bone bruising takes a long time to heal.
Yeah, if you read the MRI, it's not pretty. It pretty much spells trouble. And I had a good sit down with Lee Moselle. He was on our camp down here, and he's a radiologist. He talked me through it, and he explained what was going on and like pretty much the reality of it all, which was really good of him to do that. And it was quite clear. He was probably the most forward of everyone about the potential outcome. But at the same time, there's always examples of people that shirk that, get a bad diagnosis or prognosis and then beat that. So that's what I'm working on.
Moose, you know what I reckon was the real bad thing you did was that 16K hilly race / tempo thing.
That handicap one.
The handicap one. And then I saw on your Strava, one of the guys wrote, "Oh, you're really motoring down the hills."
I was flying down the hill. And I think I commented, I'm like, my knees are so good. Like, how good is it to have knees
that
work
on the show.
again?
Yeah, and then that into the river run a week later.
River run, cooked it. And then all of a sudden, it's downhill. I'm like, and then I saw a photo of river run. I'm like, why is my right leg fully wasted? And that was a good wake up call, but it was too late by then.
Yeah.
Yep. Brady, you had the exciting week.
Yeah, come on, Brady.
I did have the exciting week. Monday kicked off. It was I was sluggish on Monday. 60 minutes on Monday morning at 4:40s. 30 minutes in the afternoon at 4:39s. So pretty much similar pace, but in the afternoon I felt so much better than the morning. I think probably because I did a workout Saturday and a long run Sunday last weekend, that Monday was just a bit of a message from the body just to take it easy, because I was a bit, it's not sore, just felt overall tired. Tuesday though, did a workout. Spoke about this last week on the show. It was the 10-8-6 for 2 minutes. I had 2 minutes jog after the 10 before the 8, and then 90 seconds between the rest. I went 3:08 for the 10 and the 8, 3:09 for the 6, 3:05 for the 4, and then got rolling a bit in the 2, averaged 3:03s, but I was pretty much on about 2:55 pace, 80 seconds in, and then just threw the brakes on for the last 30 seconds, so it looked a bit smarter than it actually was on Strava. So yeah, good to do a bit of threshold work and then tick the legs over a bit more towards the end there. I love that session because it's like 30 minutes worth of work, 11k in total at 3:19 pace, but you just get those little breaks that break stuff really well. And yeah, I was really happy with how this pace was kind of flowing out. There are a couple times, I think it was in the 8 minutes, like I looked down at my watch 4 minutes in and was averaging like 3:02s. And I'm just like, okay, this is a good sign when you've got a race coming up to, put the brakes on now, but it shows that the perceived effort is pretty low to kind of hit this kind of pace. So really happy with that workout. Got out for 35 minutes in the afternoon at 4:32s. Because the race was on Saturday, I moved my medium long run. I usually like to have a recovery day on Wednesday, but I moved it from the Thursday to the Wednesday to try and hit the race fresher. So I did an hour 45 on Wednesday morning, 4:20 pace for 24.3 Ks. Got out at 6:20 a.m. Bit good Orange Doctor Moose. You would have liked the Orange Doctor in Chukamoama that morning. I don't usually run too much Orange Doctor time these days, but yeah, it was good getting out there and seeing the sunrise. The only bad thing is though, you can't hit the trails. You got to hit the concrete when it's dark. But yeah.
Tell me, how much did it uplift you for the day?
No, it was a hard day. Then I went to work for the whole day. So it's all right, I reckon, if you stay at home dadding maybe. I don't mind doing a medium long run and then just kind of like kicking around the house. But being up at...
No, I mean the doctor.
The doctor.
How much did it uplift you when you saw it?
Oh, that did, yeah. At 6:45 when it was coming up, I was up and about. I'm like, this is beautiful. But at 10 a.m, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired because I've ran 25k before work. But yeah, it's a good way to start the morning. And then it's good vibes in the morning too. Like you notice in the morning when you run past everyone says good morning. But when you run past people in the afternoon, like you don't even bother saying good afternoon to anyone. You ever noticed that? Different crowd.
Different crowd, different vibes. I reckon it's a young person's game running in the arvo.
Oh,
yeah, it's always the young people that can't get out of bed, but then the older crew get out in the morning, appreciate it a bit more.
I'm old, but I can't get out of bed.
There's a lot more of those people with their like phones strapped to their arms.
In the arvo, yeah.
In the arvo, yeah. And I think it's a bit of a sign of respect when you see people exercising in the morning. You're just like, morning, like, the struggle is real, that they've had the same battles you have to get out of bed and get out to the footpath. Whereas in the afternoon, anyone can do that.
Is real, like... mid-1990s up there, people running with their phones on their arm.
Only in the afternoon, not the morning crowd.
No one does that anymore, by the way. That must be an Echuca thing.
Yeah, I know.
No one goes near that.
They don't have their phone strapped to their arms anymore.
No way.
Come on, listeners, help me out. If you see people do this, take a photo of it and tag us in there.
I reckon 10 years ago people stopped wearing those things.
Do people wear Bluetooth headphones where you are?
Yeah, of
We've
course
still
they
got cords
do.
coming out of people's iPods and stuff up here.
Yeah, iPod.
Discman?
iPod Nano.
You didn't even mean to do that, did you? But it just worked.
Discman, yeah. Got a Walkman in their pocket. So that was Thursday morning. Got out for 27 minutes in the afternoon. I was going to do 30, but then I got a bit lost. Where this new bridge has been built, we've got some new tracks, but most of them are pretty ordinary. And I got lost, and then I was just at the back of the car early, and I'm just like, right, that will do this jog. Thursday did 60 minutes at 4:29 in the morning and 30 minutes 4:29 in the afternoon. So good to hit a daily double there. Haven't hit one for a while. Friday, 45 minutes and strides. Did 6 by 20 seconds. Probably at about 85-90% intensity. Like not all out sprints, just kind of like getting the legs ticked over. Super cold. I don't know how it was where you boys were, but it was like 3 degrees, feels like 1 Friday morning where I am. So, yeah, that was first time I had to get the gloves out for the season, the long sleeves. So the cool weather's come around pretty quick. And then I just did 25 minutes after work on Friday. Some people may ask why you'd bother doing 25 minutes after work, but I just it's my routine that I kind of jog after work and clear the head before I roll home. And yeah.
Doing sums, I reckon, to hit 100 miles for the week.
I'll get to that when I tell him a week in a second, Bradley. But I don't know, just that good separation between work and home life. And it's the same before going to work. I just like to get out and clear my head and get those endorphins going. Saturday morning, boys, Jells Park, round 1. You've done Jells Park many of times, Moose, haven't you? How many times would have you done, Moose? I mean, done Jells. 10? 5?
No, not that many.
7?
I've missed a few through the years. I think I've done it, I'd say 6 times.
6 times. Traditional round 1 down here, Croaks, of our 10-race series for the Athletics Victoria cross-country season. Usually in April, I'm going to say. It's usually a bit warmer, I think. It's like really close to Easter usually.
It's always a couple, 2 to 3 weeks before Great Ocean Road. It's always around that time.
Yeah, well, this year it's only a week before.
Yeah, that's right.
So 3K laps, Croaks, down here. Course changes a bit over the years. I'm not sure if you've ran this new course, Moose, have you? You know, they used to go up around the playground. Have you done it since then?
I can see from the start line you turn right.
You pretty much start halfway up the hill and then you turn right straight away and do that back end first.
I haven't done that new course.
A bit like this last year. And then you spend, instead of going up that big hill once the whole way, you only go halfway up it, but you go like up and down it 3 times down the bottom there. So yeah, we went down. I ran leg 2 for the Bendigo Bats. I won't talk too much about this because we've got our own Bendigo Bat podcast where we'll go into things in detail with Andy Buchanan. But we had a win. We got the win. I ran the second leg. I ran 18:26 for the 10th fastest leg of the day, fellas, which I was pretty surprised and pretty happy with after I saw the results there. I went 9:15 for the first leg, 9:11 for the second leg. Got the second lap, not leg. Got the changeover in a really good spot. Got it. Nath Stote ran first for us, and we were in 3rd position behind Western Athletics and Box Hill. And then I just had 2 targets that I just had to kind of try to catch, and then try.
Who were in front of you? Who were the runners?
Yeah, so is it Callum Drake from Western Athletics?
Yeah.
Liam Cashin ran first for Western Athletics and probably put, I'm going to say 40 seconds into Nath Stote, 35 seconds. He had a really good, Cashin's, all quality. Yeah, Cashin here, he ran 17:56 and Nath ran 18:27. So, 30 seconds there. So I had to try and pull in their runner. And Nick Baggett, he started probably 3 seconds in front of me because Alex Ritchie, he ran 18:25. So, but Nick went pretty hard. He probably got that gap out to 7 or 8 seconds in the first couple of Ks. And I was actually running with friend of the show, Craig Appleby. He'd kind of he went off really fast from Divi 2. Their first runner kind of come through in front of some Divi 1 teams there, and then kind of caught apples, and then had a crack at trying to catch Nick, and it took me probably pretty much the first lap of our 2-lap course to get onto him, and then I kind of made a bit of a move probably with 2K to go to then I just kept thinking about our next runner, who was Matt Buckle, and he was going up against Jack Rayner from Western A's. So I knew the Western A's runner was behind me, and I just had to try and give Matt as much time as possible, because Jack was obviously going to catch him, but we wanted to prolong that for as long as possible in his leg. So it was a bit of a yo-yo. We kind of went from third to first to second to third, and then Andy Buchanan. It was an epic last leg. Like, you had Andy Buchanan, Andre Waring, Nathan Pearce, and Stewie all lining up for their last leg. I think there was about a minute between Nathan and Stewie, and then Box Hill, Andre Waring, and Andy were kind of in the middle, about 34 seconds back. And it was just the rain coming in sideways. Everyone's running to different stages of the course, and like, we weren't sure what Andy was going to do because he's just 2 weeks off that marathon. And we kind of thought that he'd at least catch Nath Pearce, because I thought that...
So, no, let's go. Who got the baton first? Nath, Western Athletics.
Yeah. So Nath Pearce, they got away from everyone. So they had Jack run their third leg, whereas we had our 2 best runners. Well, we had Andy in 6th position, and St. Stephen's had Stewie in 6th position. So
6K legs as well, we should say.
Yeah, sorry, we run 6 by 6K, so 36K relay, but it's 2 laps of a 3K course.
Yeah.
So Nath Pearce, who does some work for the show, Roman Nath, when we do the Zatopek watch parties, he went off, I think he was 34 seconds in front of Andre and Andy changed together, because Archie had a really good leg and caught up your mate from Ocean Grove, Melbourne Truck Club guy, 800
Barber.
Yeah, Lockie Barber, yep. Yeah, Archie pulled him in just in the last kind of 200 metres. So they changed together, and then Stewie was like 35 seconds behind them. And then Stewie got the gap down. So then, so Andy and Andre caught Nath Pearce with like, I'm going to say 3K. Oh, I probably should know this better. Maybe like 2.5K, 2K to go. And then Stewie was trying to catch them at the same time and got the gap down to about, I think he got it down to about 22 seconds at one stage. But then when Andy went past Nath Pearce, he also put in a massive surge to drop Andre Waring from Box Hill and just, ran away with it in the end. So, it was awesome. Our first race in Premier Division, and we won. So that's the first ever medal that Bendigo Region's ever won, which is cool, because this is only our second time I've ever been in Premier Division. So, big news for Bendigo Region, and hopefully
a little bit hollow for the bats.
That's probably one of my favourite, fondest running. I was almost getting a bit emotional. I remember going to this stuff when I was 16, 18 years ago, and we always used to look up at this stuff, and you'd always think that Bendigo could never get there because we just never had the culture. It's just, it was always...
You didn't really get there. Someone gave it to you.
What do you mean? We've come first.
The spot in Div 1, you're given the spot.
I'm okay with that. I'm more...
We earned the spot, and if this wasn't proof that we deserved it, we just bet all too low we just bet everyone.
I liked that the 6 that ran for you, I'm guessing, so Archie obviously lives in that sort of region. Andy is obviously Bendigo. Yeah, yourself, Buckle, Nath Stote, and who's the other one?
Brian McGinley from a little town called Almore, just about 25 minutes out of Bendigo. Yeah,
so it's not like you, I don't know, got me as a ring-in or something who's never been to Bendigo.
Yeah, that would be completely different.
So I do like the fact that everybody who ran for you guys, is from the area, so that's good. Yeah. We don't have any money to pay people and stuff anyway, so...
Who's paying people?
Oh, yeah, a lot of people. That's why, supposedly why Joel didn't run in,
Surely not.
Doncaster. Because he was meant to run for Doncaster, but then they hadn't organised the financial stuff or something. That's just the whispers I heard.
They pay their membership, or they're paying contracts?
No, sorry, paying their memberships. Which is $390 this year.
It's a little bit of a contract, isn't it, when you do that?
100%, yeah. I'd love if someone's like, hey, imagine if Bendigo's like, we're going to pay all your Premier guys and save you $390. And I think petrol for us as well. We left at 7:30. We left at 7:32 a.m. and got home at 7:28 p.m. It was, nearly 8 hours in the car both ways. So, it's a big investment of time more than anything. And you guys know what it's like with kids, just like I'm walking out the door saying to Carly, I'll see you in 12 hours. Good luck with the toddler and the newborn, because I'm going to go run around in the rain for 18 minutes and 26 seconds. So,
got a local running store that can sponsor the team?
No, they were talking about that today. Like, one of the boys put in the message group, like, why doesn't Bendigo have a running company, Bendigo? Like, this boom, because they had something like 65 on the long run the next day. Like, the lid's fully off in Bendigo. Like, there's going to be a running boom come out of that town. But, and Bendigo's different to Ballarat and Geelong as well. Like, we'll have a guess. What do you reckon the marathon record was from a Bendigo person before Andy ran his 2:12?
Wasn't it Gleisner?
No, no, like from a Bendigo person. Like Richard went and lived there for a couple of years.
220 something?
224. So like Ballarat has the Moners and the Collis, and Geelong has the Mottrams and the Troops and you know, the Landies and all those kind of people. But like Bendigo's never had a running culture, so we were always we just had this expectation growing up that these are things that Bendigo doesn't do. So it's really cool to see us being competitive now and, being up there. So, there was... And to beat, like, Western A's with Jack and St. Stephen's with Stewie, like, that's something we were kind of hoping we were going to get third. And it looked like we were going to be fourth for a while there until Archie had a really good, like, second lap and kind of put us back in the race and gave Andy an opportunity to, finish it off. So... Anyway.
Good work.
Yeah.
I think it is a very special thing when you've got mates.
And it's
locals.
Team. Like it's...
Yeah, you train together. Yeah. You have a bond, and you, like, cross-country, it is like playing footy. It's dirty. You get down dirty, people work hard. You do stuff for someone else out on that course. You don't do it for yourself.
And it rarely happens in running. Like I love
it.
Such an individual sport that, like, that's why the feelings around this weekend were different than, like, the stuff you do individually where you kind of can only celebrate by yourself.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know whether you remember, but there was there were a couple of premierships Geelong won, and one was with some ring-ins, and it had... And it didn't.
And that was me, and I didn't feel that kind of thing.
Yeah,
because I wasn't a part of the team. Like you're a part of the team, but you're not. You're driving down there to kind of do a job, do your performance, go home.
Yeah, but we had it later. We had it when we were a team. We hired buses. Everyone would travel on the bus down. Yeah. And that's what you guys have now.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have some people come up try and knock you off now. You win Jells, you are the target for the year.
I know, and how things change really quickly, that we were like the Divi 2 team coming up that people said probably didn't deserve to be there, and like we just wanted to prove that we deserved to be there and like not get relegated, to now, as you said, the team that's like, we got to beat that Bendigo Bats team next round, which brings a whole different expectation and pressure. So, but hopefully some of these young kids can handle it, no worries. But anyway, we'll do a deep dive on Bat Chat.
How's your depth podcast. Though? What did your second division team come?
Our second division team was Div 4, and I think they won that by minutes.
Well, that's a sign.
And we had two other guys. Like our sixth runner, Brian, he ran 19:58, and we had another guy run 19:55, the Beast, in a different division.
I tell you what, the Beast is
Glenn McMillan also ran sub 20. And the good thing, so it's just, but you need depth. You need 10. You need at least 10 guys who can run Premier Division throughout the season for a 6-man team.
Yeah, there's always going to be injuries pop up. There'll be other races. Bendigo will have a fun run. Everyone wants to win that. And then you'll have one over in like the middle of nowhere that people aren't going to show up for.
Well, the biggest problem is our potential star of the team goes to Commonwealth Games and misses a couple of rounds.
That's a big problem.
That is going to throw quite a bit of a spanner in the works. So, you go from, especially when, the individual races where you finish in the race, that's the point you score. So he finishes first, score 1 point, lowest points wins. You replace him with someone that, finishes 40th or 50th. It's a whole different score your team's getting. But anyway, I'm sure we'll discuss those things as they come. And then on Sunday, I got out for 2 hours, 4:20 pace. Bit tired, didn't have much sleep, got out at 6 a.m. so I could be home at 8 a.m. to do some dad work after missing some hours on the Saturday. The boys actually left at 8 a.m. so as I was coming in the driveway, Nathan and Archie were starting their run for their 90 minutes. So, two different lifestyles are living there. But boys, you gave me heaps of shit for me cross-country run here at Jells Park last year. You didn't give me any praise for the 18:26.
You didn't give me a chance. You've been talking non-stop.
That's right. I'm just like,
I couldn't even get in. I give you a bit of praise for the team. I actually thought it was a great run.
I've been brewing on your comments, boys, for the last 12 months about my shit run in Jells Park last year.
I can't even remember.
Now you can tell it how shit it was after this.
Remember you were saying, Croaks, you're like, it must be because you don't run hills, you're just no good at cross country. I remember you guys, Moose was like, I thought you were doing a tempo. And I'm like, I was working hard last year.
Well, this is a bit training talk, but I reckon that you're completely different to, like, you're training completely different to how you used to train. Like, I feel like you used to flog sessions a lot more
since the
than what you have.
Yeah, true. I've been doing a bit more like you have.
Yeah, and my second comment when it comes to tapering, like, I think tapering depends on how cooked you are before your main event. Now, I would argue that you did an hour 45 like a couple of days beforehand, whereas I reckon if you did an hour instead of an hour 45, I don't reckon you would have run any better. But the thing is, you weren't cooked going into this week, so doing an hour 45 a few days before, if you're not cooked, it doesn't, you can still run well off that. But that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, it just goes to show I think you're training a bit smarter.
I've changed my 3:05 pace to 3:10 pace. That's one thing I've done for one session a week, and it's much easier to hit.
Well, it's easy to hit. It's enjoyable. It's sustainable, and you feel like you're flowing a lot better in sessions rather than pushing and fighting it and looking down at your watch, going, "Oh, how long till this rep finishes?" Because I'm starting to get pretty tired.
Yeah. But
so good work.
No, I was happy with that cross country leg, and I just enjoyed it. Like, I loved the mayhem of cross country, like lapping people and not having a line to run on, and like not being able to see where your feet land, and it's a different beast. If you've never done cross country before, go watch one or watch the video or enter yourself or something. Like, go and do one, because it's a complete different side of running that a lot of people would have no idea about, who have been involved in running it a long time, if they're just doing road races and stuff.
I reckon they need something like this. They need some sort of invitation entry into Jells Park, because, like you said, paying $400 or whatever is not going to let someone come in and experience cross country unless they're fully committed to it. I think there needs to be some sort of like pay $50 for this race or whatever, come and experience if you like it or not, have a sample of cross country, and I reckon that you'll get the buzz, and that's when you get hooked and you join a club or whatever.
I think one of the things I think they need to do is make the membership 6 and 12 months. So like when I'm paying my $390 or whatever it is, that's for the winter pass, but it's for my 12 months Athletics Victoria registration and my 12 months Bendigo Harriers registration. And like, I might pay that and never run track between, say, September and March, April. And there's a whole lot of people who will do the same. So they should reduce those like membership costs for starters, like just cut it in half. And then if you want to do the track stuff, you're going to have to fork out more money. But I think a lot of people at Jells Park probably wouldn't run. Like, Rab, for example, like past interview, he's doing a 6K relay leg. I don't see him on the track during the summer. So I think they need to reduce that for starters, and then have some kind of invitation, which they do for like Albert Park and like the half marathon and stuff. I know you can do that individually, but even the vibe down there, like you're getting all those. I always see them come up on Instagram, like all those like hipster photographers and stuff. Like, they're all starting to rock up to these cross country meets, which is pretty cool. Been getting tagged in photos flat out the last 2 days. Like it's starting to filter over into that scene.
Yeah, it's getting cool.
And even just my like runs PB hat on, like we've got a lot more like rec runners now who are now joining AV clubs to be involved with the relays and stuff like that as well. So, but I still think the entry, the money point is something they need to figure out, because it's hard to convince people to, you want to come along, cool. You just need $390 and you're in.
Yeah. So I think like New South Wales Athletics is trying to do something similar, where they have like a Run New South Wales event package, where you basically pay a reduced amount for, say, 3 events. So it could be like Sydney 10, It could be like the New South Wales Half Marathon champs that they have out at Homebush. So that's a way of people being able to just sort of sign up for 3 events as a little package to get a taste of it.
Yeah, and that 390 includes my winter package, which is the 6 individual races, but then our club pays for the 4 relays. So yeah, so I don't have to enter anything now between now and September. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the cost and stuff of it. But anyway, let's move on. Thanks to Patreon supporters. Bradley, would you like to kick us off?
Sure. I've got Neil Wheels this week. Neil lives in Daventry, UK. We have some estimated best on Strava of 1948 for 5K, 40:41 for 10, 95 for the half, and 3:59, which he did at the Liverpool Marathon in 2018. He's got a pair of those new streak flies and pretty good swagger on him, arm sleeve and a good tan. So thanks for your support, Neil.
Okay, Neil.
Streak flies, Moose. When are they hitting Australia?
Well, late May, actually. Or not, maybe mid to late May, I think.
Okay. I've heard mixed reports.
Yeah. I've heard only bad reports.
Yeah.
No, I've heard good ones too. I've heard like fun, snappy track shoe.
Oh yeah,
but
you've also got to sell them. Sorry,
mate. These things, I have a line for these out the door. Like we got one shoe for every 10 people that want one, so that's not a problem. But I know what I like in a shoe, and it ain't what this shoe has. So I'm with you guys. Like,
okay. Oh, well, I've only been hearing that it's not needed almost. Like, why would you buy it when you can wear the Vaporfly? I
think it's really good for younger athletes. I don't think it's great for masters athletes like us three. But I think it's brilliant for young people who should be maybe like limiting their time in super shoes when they're until they need them, until they actually need the benefit of them.
Good point. Thanks, Chris. Hope you're enjoying your pair of them over there.
Chris, a masters athlete,
that was Neil actually.
Neil. Chris is coming up next. Nah, Neil didn't look mastered at all. He looks pretty good. That tattoo on his arm sleeve there, tan, looked like a wild boy. Neil.
And from UK, got a tan.
Must have been on a holiday somewhere, I reckon. But
they'll go to Portugal, don't they?
Portugal and Spain, don't they?
Yeah.
Who are you thinking, Moose?
I got Chris Metcalf from Clarendon, which is near sort of Ballarat. Has a population of 145, which is small. Probably not a running store in that town. Has visited Las Vegas. You boys been to Vegas?
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you, Moose?
I've been a couple of times.
Have you?
Yeah, it's not my favourite place in the world.
Do you have the casinos and stuff there? Is that what you do?
Second time I stayed in my hotel room the whole time. It was fucking dreadful. It is a disgusting place.
Is that when you were running for Chico State?
No, I was on a holiday with Brady. And I went for a run down this, it's a pretty hard place to run. It was about 40 degrees. And tried to find somewhere to ran down a railway track. I thought it would be like a rail trail, but it just went into the full-on ghetto of Vegas. It was just strip clubs, but not like the strip clubs you see on Entourage and stuff, like dirty strip clubs and just junkies everywhere. And it was no good. It's not a good city. But outside of that, there's actually some really nice running, like the national parks and you're close to Utah, you're close to the Grand Canyon. So
isn't the Formula One doing one in Las Vegas this year? They're going to go down the strip?
I don't know.
Pretty sure. I reckon that's true. Yeah.
A lot of people would know that because they watch that really popular TV show.
Oh, Drive to Survive. It's so good. You watched it?
I watched this season, but I didn't get into it. Everyone else is loving it, and I'm just couldn't get it.
Okay.
Anyway, Chris, he been a bit crook recently, coming good now. Ran around Vic Park. Vic Park, iconic run location in Ballarat. Estimated best on Strava as 23 minutes, 49:51, and 1:50 at the Begonia Half, which was recent. Odd event, had people running down the main street, no road closures. Basically, find your own way around that course. Real interesting. Toby, your mate Toby, he couldn't find his way around the event. Ended up going off course somewhere, and got.
That's right. It was his, and then got blasted because it was his fault.
Yeah, unbelievable. And Big Toby runs for Geelong now.
I did see him down there, first leg, gave him the big dog leg.
Yeah, well, he still ran the fastest for Geelong, so earned it.
His spot. I saw Matty Gunther on the clipboard down there as well.
Yeah, he's the big dog at Geelong cross country now. Just coming off COVID though, literally a few days out from isolation. So he might have been putting himself on leg one if it wasn't for that.
That's good dedication for the team, straight from COVID into a Jells Park relay.
Yeah, he's the driver at the moment.
Oh yeah, he's the marquee athlete, isn't he?
No, he's driving. He's the Brett Coleman of older days. Really? Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to thank Jo Bailey. She lives in Canberra now, but originally from Tasmania. Estimated bests on Strava, 1906, 4008, 130.01 at the Launceston Half Marathon, 3:28 at the Canberra Marathon in 2019. What was the weather like that day, Crows? Can you remember?
2019.
Would have been wet, windy.
Yeah, I don't remember actually.
Big fan of Kipchoge. She got a couple of photos of Kipchoge on her Strava, and also a photo of Ali Pashley, Lisa Waitman and Sinead Diver after the Olympics, and a lot of photos of nature on her Strava photos. She's got Launceston 10K coming up into the Gold Coast Marathon. She loves Japanese food, and she has a pretty interesting job. She works for the government up there, Croaks, in Canberra, and she works in health communications. So you know all those messages that we were getting about the COVID rules and restrictions? Mm-hmm. She was the one literally writing what the politicians were instructing.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool. She's also one of the Run to PB legends, coached by Sophie Fitt. So that's where I got most of that information from, straight from her coach. So good luck, Joe, for the 10K and the half marathon. Oh, the full marathon coming up.
A leader in sports micronutrition, Pillar Performance is changing the way micros are used in running performance and for endurance athletes globally. Pillar has become the choice of Australian sport thanks to their formulation quality and batch testing program. Currently working with Ben St. Lawrence, Izzy Batt-Doyle and Lucy Bartholomew, along with more than 40 professional sporting teams. Made by athletes for athletes, Pillar leaves no stone unturned when it comes to ingredient quality and potency. Offering some of the strongest formulations on the market, Pillar's range supports optimal recovery, elevates energy production, relieves inflammation, and boosts immunity. When it comes to recovery, their best-selling triple magnesium powder is a must-have for any serious runner, featuring 3 forms of bioavailable magnesium to optimize recovery, improve sleep, and have you backing up after every session. Ramping up your program in the lead up to the Gold Coast Marathon, Pillar's vitamin C and zinc is perfect to help fight off sickness while your training load is high during the colder months. The Pillar team has an exclusive offer for Inside Running listeners. Head to their website and use the code INSIDE20 to receive 20% off at checkout when you purchase 2 products or more. To redeem this offer, or for more information on Pillar's performance and their range of sports micronutrition, head to pillarperformance.shop.
Rightio, fellas. Running news. Go to America. Anyone watch it? Saturday during the day it was on.
No, I saw some live splits, but I didn't actually see the race.
Okay. No, I didn't watch it. Was at work. The crew at work had the results, kept refreshing the results, but we didn't watch it.
A bit of hype getting around Jells Park as well. Just people like floating the results around.
Oh yeah.
Jack Rayner actually was the one who told me the results. How's that?
Oh yeah.
Spoke to him after the leg and I said, "How do you heard any results from America?" And he said, "Yep, Nat Rules ran 15:06. She's going to the World Champs Com Games." And he knew the Rose Davies and the Brett Robinson result. But which one do you want to start with?
Good little name drop. Well done.
Yeah. Just actually,
let's start with Nat Rule because for me that was the standout run, 15:06, and I reckon later in the year when we're doing our year in review, she's contender for most improved. Like she's been like killing it this year.
Give it to her now, Crooks. I reckon. Give it to her on the 9th of May.
It's pretty close. Like somebody really has to come out of the woodwork to beat her in that competition now. I reckon. It's 15:06. That's moving. So she ran 64 last lap. And so it puts her number 7 on the all-time Australian list. So I guess she's box seat now for a World Champs and Com Games selection. But I guess we won't know until the team's announced.
Yeah,
she's a world champ selection.
But she had to really secure it by winning nationals, didn't she? Which she hadn't done.
You know, if a couple of others come out and run faster than her.
Oh, yeah,
she's no guarantee yet, but she's certainly in the box seat.
Yeah.
Another great result, Rose Davies was third in the 10K, 31.18, which was a PB, and I think like 7 seconds underneath the world champs standard. Izzy Batt-Doyle was seventh in the same race in 31.58. Rose's run now puts her to fourth on the Australian all-time list, and yeah, she lowered a PB by 21 seconds in that race. And yeah, last but not least, Brett finished second in the 10K. I was sort of following the live splits of this, and it looked a little bit sort of tactical. And I think 10K on the track, like, it goes to show how much being in the right race is really, really important. Like, Brett was obviously hoping to go closer to that world champ standard of 27:20 something. And you know, based on his fitness, he probably wasn't that far away. But you know, you don't if you're not in that right race where you can just sit on a train. Then it's hard. So, yeah, 27.51. It was a PB for him, but yeah, obviously not that close to the World Championships time. So, not sure what that means for him now, because he doesn't have the World Champs marathon time. Maybe discretion for Com Games marathon, but I didn't think he wanted to do that one from all reports.
But did he not want to do it because he was thinking he's going for the 10K?
Yeah, maybe. And like, I don't know, maybe he's got another chance somewhere else for another crack at the 10.
Isn't night of the 10,000 metre PBs this weekend in the UK? You know that one they run through the beer tent and stuff, like fireworks, and I know you probably can't get into it with 5 days notice, but yeah.
But I really feel like it's hard to know, like, but if he was in, say he was in the same shape he's in now, but was in the race where Jack ran, like, you know, Brett runs 27:20 something there potentially, but it just comes down to that sort of those race conditions where I saw there was one lap there pretty early on where they ran like close to a 70-second lap, I think it was, or a 69. It's like, well, that's not conducive when you're trying to chase a world champs time.
I heard they didn't have the wave lights on and no paces.
Yeah.
I just what some random told me at Jells Park. Not sure how
accurate
that was, but yeah.
But then they had paces for other events, like the men's 5. Like Ollie Hall paced that one, where Jakob ran 13 low for 5K.
He ran 13:02. Sam McIntyre was in the same race, 13:24.
Yep.
Isaac Heyne DNF in the B race. Jack Bruce was in that B race as well. He came 8th in 13:51. And then Moose, did you catch the 1500? Or you want to talk about the results, the 1500 and Paige Campbell?
Yeah, I didn't catch any of this running, but I did. You know, I see right here that Abby Caldwell came 6th in the 1500. She ran 4:05. Was it that Gabrielle? Was it Gabrielle Stafford?
Yeah.
Gabrielle. She won 4:03. Just left the Bowman Track Club.
See, her sister's left as well. Since we were talking about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Anyway, she got under the standard, but Abby didn't, but good run. And Paige Campbell ran in the second division of the 5K, 15:36. I think does that equal her PB? I think she just ran that PB last week.
Similar to what she ran the other week over there.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a bit hard to, there are a lot of Aussies in action and knowing when they're all going to pop up. I know Athletes Australia, like Lockie Morehouse, does a good job at
they're getting better at it. That's for sure.
Good job at summarising it, and I think they've just got to. I know they did it last week, but just keep posting that stuff about what's coming up this weekend, so you can know what to follow. Already spoken about Jells Park Relays, boys. Did I tell you final teams? Bendigo Bats, Western A's, Box Hill for the men. Stewie had the fastest time, 17:30 of the day. Jack Rayner 17:40, Andy Buchanan 17:41. The women's race, this was won by Box Hill, 1:48.23. South Melbourne second, 1:52.33. Glenn Huntley 1:53.13. Lyndon Hall, haven't seen her in a cross-country race for a while. She spiked up and she ran the fastest leg of the day in 20:07. Georgia Hansen from Box Hill was second in 20:15. And Stella Radford from Box Hill was third in 20:42. A couple of those ladies getting a run in Geelong's Divi 1 team Moose with times like that. Easy.
Geelong's Divi 2 team?
Divi 1 team.
Nah, I think, maybe.
2007, 2015, 2042.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's pretty good.
Geelong 7th,
They do
weren't they?
6K.
7th or 8th?
Jesus. Really?
Nice little dig there from Brady.
It's funny considering that we've hand-delivered him a couple of premierships back then, and now he's just quick to jump ship.
No, I'm trying to get you revved up.
Don't appreciate that.
Trying to just trigger that competitiveness. So, like, it just brings out the best in everyone. I want targets on the back of the Bendigo Bat, so then we get all the big dogs in the same races.
Jamie Cook, I heard, actually sent an email to Geelong Region Cross Country, said, here for a transfer. I'm not respected in my town, and so I want to come. I heard you guys have good culture, and I said, yes, Jamie, we do. You're welcome.
The Beast is very happy in the Bendigo Bat singlet. And
is he though? He is. I
was warming down with him. He's happy. Yeah, he'll come out firing, the Beast. Don't worry about that. That's a good position to be in when you got people fighting for spots.
In a Geelong singlet, he will.
You want to earn your spot in a decent team, I reckon, instead of being handed one. What was that?
Well, you know what.
What were you going to say? Handed a spot in Premier Division. How many times are you going to use that trick? Did you hear Crosby on the Bendigo Bats podcast talking about that?
Nah, I didn't hear it.
Don't listen to that podcast.
As if we were listening to that.
He said something like, anyone who thinks that got to have a good hard look at himself if that's their opinion, or something like that. It was good. It was a good line. He had some good stuff to say, Tim Crosby, Bendigo Bat Chat.
Thinking that.
Hey, that's you thinking that. That's who he was having a dig at. Had a couple of digs at Geelong. I didn't mind, to be honest.
Do we invoice Bendigo Bats Moose for all plugging this podcast?
Guys,
I'm done with this.
You got to type "Tell Me Your Tales" as well. Then just Bat Chat. That's how you find it. Anyway,
can we talk about something else?
Yeah, let's talk about this track meet over in Japan. Moose, this is your call.
Okay, yeah. Two Australians, Georgia Griffiths ran 4:06 for the win, and Ben Buckham ran 8:40 for ninth in the steeple.
Buck's good to see him back. So what's he got to run?
Was he not? What happened to Bucks? Was he injured?
Yeah, because he didn't do nationals, did he?
No.
Yeah, I think he had a little injury and then was just stringing training back together. I don't know anything officially. I'm just going off like Instagram photos I see.
Yeah, and he's already qualified, hasn't he? Like for Worlds and Com Games based on what he ran at the Olympics.
From the Olympics, but because he didn't do nationals to then get that Australian title. He's now got to wait for to get picked instead of putting himself on a team.
But it's unlikely that you're going to have three guys run the standard.
It's a very hard stand to hit, isn't it? That steeple one.
Yeah.
Rightio, Croaks. This week's Training Talk segment is proudly brought to you by Lululemon. Lululemon have designed technical gear with the runner in mind to last more than a season. Head to lululemon.com.au to find out more. Pressure on this one, Croaks, after last week. That was a good chat last week. Training Talk, strides.
Yeah, I had a few people message me who I coach asking for a bit more information about drills and strides. So send them the old video.
Did you go Dathan or Andy
That's
Buchanan?
lazy coaching there.
No, in terms of which ones to do. I don't do as much drills as I should, but that's a good place to start, that video.
It's a great place to start. Yeah, I was meant to do them tonight. I fully forgot about it as well.
So tonight, it's a session that I've been doing a lot over the last 3 months, and it's that 6-minute session off 1 minute rest. So generally I look to do between 4 and 6 reps of 6 minutes with 1 minute standing recovery. In terms of what pace you should sort of run them at, they're around about your 60-minute race pace, give or take. But I wanted to talk more about how you should feel during them, because that's probably one thing I've noticed from my traditional longer reps, what I used to do years ago, to how I feel on these, and also in between them. So when I stop the rep, I feel pretty much recovered and ready to go after 40 to 45 seconds. Now, in the past, if I was doing hard K reps or hard 5-minute reps off 60 seconds recovery, you look down, and I'm sure you boys have had the same feeling where time seems to go real fast when you're tired, and you're like, oh shit, I've only got 10 seconds to go and I don't feel like I've fully recovered. So a key sign for me that I'm in the right zone for this session is after about 40 to 45 seconds of standing recovery, I feel like I'm good to go again. And during the reps themselves, you always feel strong, in control, and you never get to the point where you need to look down at your watch going, how much longer until this rep finishes? So if you feel like you're pushing, if you're at the point where you're looking down at your watch going, how long until this rep finishes, you're probably going a little bit too hard. What I like about the session is I get 30 to 35 minutes at around threshold, but I can hold really good form for the whole session because that 1 minute recovery is enough just to reset and go again. Whereas, you know, a lot of people do basically the same pace that I'm running for these 6 minute reps, but they do them for 30 minutes straight as like a tempo, and, you know, start to sort of break down towards the end. So that's the session that I've been doing regularly, and you pull up from it feeling really good, and I think there's a lot of benefit to it.
So what pace did you suggest, like effort pace?
About so for me, it's like 60 minute to half marathon pace.
So it's threshold rep. These are threshold
basically
reps.
Threshold reps. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, yes.
I'd nearly argue it's sub-threshold, a bit slower than threshold. At least start there even. Like you did on the weekend, you started at like 3:13, then you went 3:11, and then you like worked down to like 3:08, 3:09.
Yeah.
That's a smart way to do them.
But like what I wanted to get across tonight was more how you feel. Like if you're still cooked 50 seconds into the recovery, then you're running them too hard. Likewise, if you're looking down at your watch with 2 minutes, 3 minutes to go, going, how long have I got to go? Because I'm feeling like I'm struggling, then you're going too hard. So, but yeah, roughly around that 60-minute race pace, and I think it's a safe way of getting a lot of threshold work in because you know that minute recovery is enough just to recover, so you can feel good for the next 6 minutes. Where if you're trying to do 30 minutes at threshold, you know, you get to 20 minutes and the last 10 minutes does become a bit of a grind and your form does fall away, I find sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. When I did that 10-8-6 last week, similar kind of vibe to what you're talking about now, I, in my plan, had 2 minutes to jog after the 8 minute before I started the 6 minutes. And after the 8 minutes, like a minute in, I'm like, I think I'm ready to go here. I'm just going to make this 90 seconds. And it wasn't a big deal. But as you said before, like if I was training a bit faster, like I probably was 6-8 months ago, I would have been looking for every one of those seconds in that 2 minutes to try and recover. Yeah.
And start off 4 reps is plenty initially, and then just slowly build it up. Like even 3, you know, if you don't run much, even 3 reps, like it's still 18 minutes worth of, you know, quality running. But the more often you do it and the fitter and stronger you get, just try and add a little bit more, add another rep.
Can we just drill in here, back to that pace thing, the pace you could run a half marathon on that day, not your goal half marathon pace? I
don't know. I reckon it's probably close to your like half marathon pace because when you think about it, you're only doing it for 6 minutes and you get a minute recovery. Like
it is for our level, but think about someone who's running an hour 40.
Sorry. Yeah.
So
60. Yeah. So they need to convert it to roughly what you could hold for 60 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
So if I said to you, Croaks, on Saturday when you did your 6x6 minutes at 3:10s, on that day you could have done 60 minutes at 3:10s.
Well, see, no, I don't know. In a training session, I could have. I don't think I could have.
No.
So I actually think
especially for that tired workout, like you've got heavy stuff in your legs, you haven't tapered.
Yeah. So I think
no
for
adrenaline.
That. Yeah, exactly. So I think for that session, because you're only doing it for 6 minutes, it's probably a pace that you could race 60 minutes at.
Yep, I agree with you.
On a race day.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's how many reps you do?
I did 5.
Do you normally go 4 to 6?
So when I was coming back from when I was building up, or if I got sick or whatever, I did. So 4 was the minimum I've done. 6 is the maximum. But I normally I normally do 5. I was umming whether I was going to do 6 on Saturday, but because I figured it was my first session back after the race, 5 was plenty.
And you take a minute to 2 minutes?
I take a minute. So I basically, but it's not jogging. I pretty much just stop, walk. If I want to just jog like a little bit in that time, but as I said, I get to like 35, 45 seconds into the recovery and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go again. Yeah. This
is how I introduce threshold work to people. Like instead of going out and going, all right, 20-minute threshold, it'll most likely be 6 minutes. That'll be when we start, where we start that at. Could be three lots of them. Yeah. Could be 2 lots. But then you can build off that. And some people prefer to just do their threshold work in intervals, and others like a bit of a longer threshold as well. So, but it's a good start point. It's a lot safer doing it like that.
Yeah, and because you can hold form a lot better, like for that 6 minutes as opposed to trying to do 15 minutes straight or 20 minutes straight. But for me, the key points are that you should never be working that hard that you're basically looking forward to the rep ending, and you're recovering well and truly before that minute's up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Safe way to train.
Yep.
Thanks again to this week's Train Talk partner, Lululemon. Their new running range is designed with lightweight fabrics, thoughtful features like key-size zipper pockets and mesh paneling to keep you running whatever the weather. Visit lululemon.com.au. We might skip listener question, fellas, otherwise it might drag on a bit. Moose on the loose, purchase of the week, rules of Strava.
Definitely have I've been following on Twitter, like you have, I reckon, around the marathon last week, where there was a 6-year-old that was given that ran the marathon, or like completed the marathon. I didn't go into the full details of it, but it sounds like he didn't get an official entry. Is that right? And he was just sent off. I mean, like, his parents encouraged him to do it. I just saw something about Lee Troop got a bit of a Barney on Twitter today about it.
Troopy's been in Barney's for the last 3 days on it.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cara Goucher. There's been
yeah.
a few heated Twitter debates going back and forward. And I think the parent is very defensive. To be honest, I've been in the car on Mother's Day for the last 2 days and I've only seen, like how the algorithm sends you stuff at the very top. I haven't done the research into it, but I just saw a 6-year-old run a marathon and thought that is stupid.
Oh yeah, Truby's been getting into it.
You opened it up now.
Look, 6-year-olds should not be running marathons. Let's end this right now. Surely, how can you be on the opposition of that?
Exactly.
We disagree sometimes, Moose, but not on that.
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah. Boy,
crazy.
It's the poor. Yeah, I don't even want to say anymore.
Yeah.
6-year-olds should not be running marathons.
And also, in my mind, teenagers probably shouldn't be doing ultra marathons. It's so much stress. A lot of examples of it not really working out in the long term. And I don't think we should there's so much running you can do that isn't extreme high stress on the body at that age, when you're still developing, and doing high mileage, even just high mileage running through your teens is not a good, it's not good for your development of your body, of your social life especially. Yeah, I don't know. I reckon you're limiting yourself with potential when you're running 100k weeks when you're a teenager, and then you get to maybe you're 20 and you're running 140k week. Where is there to go after that? It's just you're already there's not a lot of room to move.
I agree, Moose, and it's often at the expense of speed development, which at the end of the day, you're limited by how if you can't run 5k in a particular time, at the end of the day, you're limited to how fast you can run a marathon. And I find people that just go out and just do long stuff all the time really neglect that speed development, which is something that you can do when you're younger. I know personally, I did a half Ironman triathlon when I was 18.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't know much. I didn't know much about the whole sport or anything like that. And then it wasn't until I then went to and by that stage I was only running probably 16. I was probably a 16 to 17 minute 5k runner at the time. But then when I went to university, I then focused on track. And I reckon me focusing on 1500 and the shorter stuff was the best thing I ever did in terms of my running development. Whereas if I just stuck with the longer stuff, I don't think I actually would have run as fast over all the distances as what I've run. So, yeah, young people should be focusing on mechanics, speed, moving well.
Young people should be enjoying being young as well.
Yeah.
Doing young kid stuff. Anyway, what's coming up? Gold Coast live show. The venue's booked, partner locked in. Excited to announce we did it last week. Pillar Performance as getting behind the event as our partner for this event. Tickets going on sale this Friday, the 13th of May. They're going to go to Patreon supporters first to have the opportunity to buy them, and then they're going to the general public on Monday the 16th. Zach has been doing heaps of work on the ticketing stuff and the promo posters and all those kind of things. So it's going to be exciting. $5 discount if you're a Patreon supporter. So yeah, anything else?
They get the
there,
first
boys?
crack too, won't they?
They get the first crack. Get 3 days at it before we open it to the public.
Yeah.
What is it? 8 weeks? 8 weeks away. Less than 8 weeks now.
Is it 8 weeks? God, yeah, it is.
I think it's 7. I think it's 7 weeks this Sunday.
It's going to come around quick, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sure is.
Yeah, it's scary.
2:30 to 4:30, Croaks.
Yeah. So
Perfect time to have a beer post race.
Yep. Doors are open 2:30, and then we'll start recording from 3.
We'll have some big name guests there, and we'll record the weekly show. So you get to hear the weekly show, the weekly recaps, all the different segments we do. We might cut a few. Won't be a super long show, but and then to have some interviews while we're there. Who have we had in the past? Ali Pashley came to one of them. Oh, the other one got cancelled because of the pandemic. But we did have a good lineup that year.
We had a live, and then because I guess the only other live show we've done was down in Melbourne with Nike. Yeah.
Well, Moose and I did one in Ballarat with Collis. That was the very first live one.
That was real good. We nailed that, I reckon.
It was a good little show, intimate crowd.
Yeah. Find that on a past episode, won't you?
It would, yeah. It wouldn't be in the iTunes one because it would come up. They've only got the latest 100 episodes, but if you go to Podbean, you'd be able to find the Collis. I think it was a 2-part interview.
Yeah, we went for a while. Had live questions from the audience.
We had like videos and stuff. Remember, you showed the video. There's the great, the one in Melbourne. What was it called? Great North Run? No, Great South Run.
Great Australian Run.
Great Australian Run. Yeah, that was good. Anyway, so we'll do all those things. Get to see Brad in person. Might dress up, Croaks. Might get you in a nice fashions on the field suit. You can maybe bring the sash that you want on the weekend.
The burgundy. Bring the burgundy.
Bring the burgundy suit, Croaks.
I won't be getting dressed up.
Bring something. What can you bring that listeners can have a look at? What have you got at home there? Did you win something for when you won the state championships of fashions on the field?
Yeah, got a sash.
Bring that sash. I'll bring a stall sash. Moose, what are you bringing?
How many trophies you want me to bring?
Just bring a Great Ocean Road medal or something. Listeners can get a photo with that if they want.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. Anything? Should I bring some stuff to sell, do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, you could.
Got some merch? We got some merch left?
Have we? I don't know. It wouldn't be a lot, would there?
Got a little bit of merch. I've got a box in the store that we still pump merch out of.
Do you know what our best bit of merch is? And I've been using it regularly. The beanies, yeah.
Yeah.
That is the best bit of merch getting around. There must be high-quality beanies.
They're real deadbeat type look though when you wear that thing.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about it. A real blue collar look.
Yeah.
Like I reckon if you just smoked, having a ciggy coming out of your mouth with that beanie on and a tradie top on, you would just fit in down at the local tradie work site.
We don't have any more of them left though, do we? Beanies?
Nah, they've been gone for years. They've been going for years. Well, maybe Zaka can whip something up for us.
He organised them last time, didn't he? The beanies.
Yeah.
Did he? Yeah, we'll be able to work
I think
on
so. Yeah.
Anyway, fellas, what's coming up in your life, Croaks?
Nothing too exciting this week. Just a couple of sessions, long run.
Yep, Moose, what do you got coming up?
Oh, running this week. Oh, Gratian Road, I'm down there, Expo. So if you're coming through down to the coast, you can stop in the running company Geelong, Friday, Saturday. But I'll be down there on Friday evening preparing the tent. We'll be rolling on Saturday down there. Get all your gels down there. Bring some jackets. It's going to be freezing. Gloves, arm warmers, you know the drill.
Is it going to be windy?
It's going to be windy. Yeah, it's not looking great.
Tailwind? Headwind?
No, never a tailwind down there. Except that year Nick Earl ran.
That year that Nick Earl broke the course record.
That was the only tailwind the event has ever had in its history, and that is a fact.
Bit of barefoot running with Nick this weekend.
Barefoot? Oh.
Wasn't that your thing last week?
Because he's running too. He's going down, Nick Earl.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, it's like Clash of the Titans down there. You got Nick Earl, Ash Watson, John Dutton, I think Dion Finocchiaro. It's a pretty classy men's field.
Go Watto. Gee, I'm a big fan of Watto in the field.
I reckon
he's been good. You've been seeing his workouts. They're looking good.
Yeah. It could be a real epic battle though, like those four at Jells Park. Now these four are going to have a go at it.
Nick Earl fit? I
think he's getting fit. He did 30k or something on Sunday with a fast finish, I think.
Yeah,
he's a 214 man though.
Watto's a lot tougher than him.
How far is Warrnambool from the race?
A few hours.
Yeah,
a couple of hours.
They got 25 to 35k winds, northwesterly, tending westerly during the day.
That is a headwind, basically.
It's rough.
And you turn the Cape Patton about 30k. You come up the hill. You've done the half before, Brady.
Yep.
You know the top of that hill where you get to the top, there's a lookout.
Yep.
You see Apollo Bay in the distance, and then all of a sudden you feel the wind hit you as well. That's a nasty point, and that's where they're going to cop that headwind right then.
Those conditions will be good for Watto though. Ballarat.
They will.
Strong runner.
He's pretty. He's been in Ballarat a long time. He's run 2:24.
You know who's going to sit right behind whoever's winning, though.
Yes, I do know that.
You won't see him to 100 metres to go.
Yeah, well, still reckon he's stronger than him.
Looking forward to reporting on that next week, actually. That'd be a good bit of news for us. You know anyone in the women's race? Actually, did I hear Sinead Divers running the half? Did you hear that?
Seen that. Hasn't been promoted, but don't know.
And I reckon Callie Thackeray.
She's going to do the double,
She's
wasn't
doing
she?
the double. She's going to...
Yeah.
No, she's doing a different double. She's supposedly, this is all secondhand, she's doing the Great Ocean Road 14k on the Saturday Arvo and then flying to Sydney to do the Sydney Half Marathon on the Sunday because that's got 5k prize money.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Which, that's another big race happening this weekend.
What is it?
Sydney Morning Herald
Half
half.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's hilly too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, some big road races coming up. All right, boys, we're done. Oh, you guys don't know, when's the Commonwealth Games team getting announced? Do you know anything about that?
No idea.
No idea.
I want to know when that announcement's coming out. All right, do it all again next week. Interview. Luke Matthews was going to get me one. So if it comes, it will be on the end of this show. If it doesn't, it will be on next week's show. See you, boys.
Have a
See
good
you
week.
later.
Yeah.
This episode of the Inside Running Podcast is brought to you by Pillar Performance, Australia's leading sports micronutrition brand. Head to pillarperformance.shop to learn more about their formulas and how they support recovery, elevate energy, and relieve inflammation.